Chris Brown got into a Twitter feud, because all the classy people get into Twitter feuds, with a comedian by the name of Jenny Johnson after he had tweeted a picture of himself saying, "I look old as fuck, I'm only 23. So she tweeted to that saying, "I know, being a worthless piece of shit can really age a person."
Damn. Okay.
All right, we got some lulls in the room. All right, so, she's been picking on Chris Brown since 2009 when the whole issue with Rihanna happened, right? And understandably so. He deserves the criticism. In fact, I think that he got let off way too easy when it came to what he did to Rihanna. But Chris Brown saw that tweet and he had had enough. He's like, enough of this Jenny Johnson. I'm going to go balls to the wall.
Yeah, okay, almost literally.
Take them teeth out when you suck in my dick, ho. I always thought that ho was spelled with an E at the end, but I guess I'm incorrect because she says the correct spelling is with just H-O.
Okay, but I wouldn't really correct, if I was her, I wouldn't correct it.
So she does correct it.
But I like that she added, "You ignorant fuck."
Yeah. Chris Brown tweets back to her, "See, I don't even have to tell you what you already know. Thanks, ho."
But she set herself up for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag bush pig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that mean that she has a hairy vagina?
I have no idea. But I like the randomness of the insult.
More terms from college. I knew kids in college that would call people bush pigs. It's like ugly person.
He continues, "I should fart while you're giving me top. Seize the day, carpe diem."
Okay, okay, we're getting classier.
Well, it gets classier. Jenny Johnson tweets back, "Your mom must be so proud of you." Mom says hello. "She told me not to shart in your mouth, wanted me to shit right on the retina."
And
hashtag pink eye.
/ brown eye. That's it. Please tell me that it doesn't get worse than that, because he just threatened the shit in her eye.
I think that was probably the worst tweet of them all.
God.
But he doesn't leave it at that. He says, "Let me leave this bitch alone. It's good to know my worth by listening to a bitch that is worthless."
I love how he's declared himself the winner. He's like, well, first of all, I was on top. Second of all, I did something to your mom, and then they shit in your eye. So, obviously I win. Okay, there's some chance you lose.
Yeah, he's clearly the loser in this case. I mean, of course, you guys already know that, but the domestic violence that he was guilty of, the fact that he did get let off easy, and he feels almost empowered to publicly write these very humiliating and violent things to another woman on Twitter. I mean, it's kind of incredible that the reason why he thinks he can get away with it is because he gets away with it.
So I think that Jenny Johnson can't be too offended because she's started it, okay? Mm-hmm. And she's been, throwing stuff in his eye all along, right? So if I'm her, I'm not like, oh my God, egads gadzooks, I can't believe it, right? And probably, let's keep it real, she's getting a ton of publicity for this and probably loving it, okay? But so what? She's a comedian, so that's what she does. So she's throwing some insults at a really famous guy. There's no harm in that, and he has it coming because he seems like he never got the message that the violence against women is something to be taken really, really seriously, and hence she has a good point. And then what does he do? He adds fuel to the fire, as you're saying. Mm-hmm. So that's why in that context, when he then talks about doing all these vile and perhaps violent things to her, mm-hmm. Oh, that's so stupid, and he's so monumentally dumb that he thinks he won.
Yeah, he thinks he won, and he's a 23-year-old moron, okay? Chris Brown is one of the dumbest people I've ever heard of in my entire life, right? The fact that he thinks that it's okay to tweet this kind of stuff, and keep in mind, he has some very, very hardcore fans that started sending death threats to Johnson, and she tweeted about that. She's like, Twitter should really look into these death threats because people were telling her, like, we're gonna find you, we're gonna stab you, we're gonna murder you, usually typical stuff online, but it was getting a little overboard. And also keep in mind, these are people who are defending him regardless of what he's done in the past to Rihanna, regardless of what he's tweeting today, and that's why he thinks he can get away with it, because people are empowering him. They're telling him it's okay. And he's a 23-year-old who doesn't know, but he has like the mentality of a 15-year-old.
And so here's a guy who got in trouble for violence against women, and then he winds up encouraging his followers to threaten violence against Jenny Johnson.
Well, it's
now I
unfair.
know-
It's unfair to say that because then he tweeted and he told them, "Don't send her death threats."
Is he not merciful?
Yeah, and he didn't.
Okay, but
he didn't
hey,
tell
but-
them to send her death threats. To be
No,
fair to
of
him,
course,
right?
I know, but Chris, you got to think it through.
Right.
Okay, you can't, like, if you say all this violent stuff to her, and you know how your followers are, and maybe some of them are following you because they like what you did. I mean, keep it real. Most of them aren't. They like his music. The great majority, yada yada, right?
Some women have tweeted to him and said, "Oh, I'll let you beat me up any day. You're so fine."
Right. And when you have the guys who are sympathetic to what he did, and then you attack someone so significantly, you know, you got to think that, hey, that might have consequences. That's why it was so dumb.